Continuing with our portrait, ready for direction number 5. The tip of the nose rests on the bottom horizontal line. Again, that's just a starter sentence for how we're going to do the nose. All right, so what we're going to do, just kind of one piece at a time, we're going to draw the right side of the nose just like we do the right eye. Now we're going to do the nose, but just half of it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a little C-shaped curve right here in the middle. Kind of goes on both sides like that. That's step number 1. Do that first. Step number 2 for this is we're going to draw the nostril. Okay, so you go right to where you stopped, right here. Okay, you're going to kind of go over and then kind of back like this. So it's going to be like a little hook, like a little fishing hook type of shape, like a little J or a little candy cane shape like that. So you go something similar to that. That's the next step. Step number 3 for the nose, go from the end, the little tip, which would be like the hook part for a fishing hook, and you're going to kind of curve around, okay, like a little backward C shape like this, similar to that. All right, so that's the next step. I'm doing something kind of similar to the handout, but yet a little bit different, not exactly the same. And then right here where I stopped, you're going to go back a little bit. So not from the tip of where I stopped on this little C-shaped curve. I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to kind of sketch in a little bit of a curve coming up. And when I stop, I want it pointing straight up, something similar to that. Okay, so that's like half of a nose. Speaking of half of a nose, then you want to take your eraser, go ahead and erase anything left of center. Okay, so I went ahead and erased this left part right here, so I only have from the dashed line over. You're going to use your tracing paper, any part of it you want. Hold it in place with one hand, and you're going to carefully sketch off the right side of the nose. Got to go slow and stay on the lines. If you go fast, don't stay on the lines, or just go slow but don't stay on the lines. It's the other half, it's not going to look the same. So really slowly, I'm going to trace it off. Okay, something similar to that. I've got a tracing here on the tracing paper. Take it and you flip it over to the left. Now it's very easy to get the nose crooked, okay, like in the wrong spot. So you want to make sure the two bottom halves connect together, and you want to make sure the nose is connected on the bottom, it's tilted up, so it looks very similar to both sides. So I'm going to have it be about right there. So take a few seconds and line it up. All right. And then hold it really firmly with one hand, your tracing paper, and you're going to go ahead and sketch over the back. Okay, a little bit of pressure so you make sure that your pencil graphite on the other side of the tracing paper is going to show up. Go over the back, just like we did for the eye. Okay, when you're done, keep your tracing paper kind of in place and kind of peel up the corner. See if everything showed up. If it did, then go ahead and take that off. And you have the two halves of the nose. Now this is really light. Okay, this print is much lighter than the original one that I had. So if it looks like your nose was too low, it's tilted left, okay, or it's tilted to the right, or it's too close to the half of the nose that you did, don't go ahead and darken it up. What you can do is just erase the left half of the nose that you printed. Okay? Put the same nose tracing that you have on your tracing paper, line it up where it should be, because maybe it actually slid out of place, when you were tracing it. Put it where it should be, trace over it again, and then you should have it right the second time. Okay? First or second time, you should have it right. If you're just looking at it and you're not using tracing paper or using a ruler and trying to measure the same distance, or you're just kind of guessing, okay, you could do it 5, 6, 7, 8 times and still not have it look anything near like what the right half of the nose is. So using the tracing paper helps you get both halves of the nose very similar, trying to get them to be symmetrical. Okay, so once you have it on here, whether you've done it the first time or second time, all right, go ahead and make it a little darker so it's easier to see and it won't rub and smear away and come off as you're working on the rest of the drawing. Go ahead and darken that up. All right, and then we have the nose. So something that looks similar to that. See, mine's similar to the handout, but not exactly the same. All right, because no two noses are the same anyway. So that is the nose. So we will go on to the next part in the next video.